So, did you ever ask yourself, what if the way that the youth of the cave slept is actually their secret behind why they lived for 300 years plus 9? So, in this video, I'll be teaching you exactly what's the right way to sleep in terms of what's the best position to sleep in and what direction should you be facing. And so, this is a video that was requested from a lot of you guys, and we're going to see exactly like what are those little things that you're supposed to be doing so that you can sleep in a way that's going to help you live longer, inshallah. So this video right here talks about it, but I'll be pausing it so I can explain to you exactly also like how the youth of the cave slept, so you can see like according to Islam, how did they truly sleep so they can live longer.
Sleep is how your body recharges, and knowing the right way to sleep can not only help you boost your productivity, but also improve your mental and physical health. In this video, we're going to take a look at Master Mu Yuchun and Mystic Sadhguru as they explain the best way to sleep and elaborate on just why sleeping in the wrong way might even cause your death. First of all, let's start with Master Mu Yuchun and his traditional Chinese sleeping technique. This technique has been perfected through generations of Chinese masters and focuses on relaxing every part of the body and making sure none of the muscles are tensed or stretched. Master Mu Yuchun explains that there are 3 ways that most people sleep. The first and most common one is on their side. Generally, when people sleep on their side, they use only one pillow, which they keep under their head for comfort and support. What this does is that it makes the muscles of the outstretched arms stretch, resulting in your shoulder being pulled. According to Master Mu Yuchun, the shoulder and the hip are connected. This means that if the shoulder is not relaxed properly, not only will it be badly affected, but so will the lower portion of the body. The solution to this is using another pillow to raise the arm a bit. This relaxes the arm, which ends up solving the entire issue. Let's look at the other hand now. When you close your right hand, it puts pressure on your heart and lungs. This is solved by using a third pillow and holding that near your chest. The fourth pillow comes into the picture when you look at the legs. Your legs need to be straight and parallel to each other. When you're sleeping on your side, this does not happen, and instead, your legs close down on your groin, reducing blood flow and leading to fertility issues. Adding a pillow between your legs helps prevent this. When sleeping on your side, this is how you should sleep, with 4 pillows all appropriately placed to make your body as comfortable as possible. Master Yuchun continues and explains how instead of sleeping on their side, some people also sleep straight on their backs. While Western medicine has called this posture good for the spinal curvature, Master Yuchun disagrees and says that unless a pillow is used to relax the muscles of your legs, they'll stretch and pull on your back, leading to lower back pain. What Master Yuchun recommends to combat this is to put a pillow under your legs. Once the legs are a bit raised, the muscles are no longer extended and your back can now fully benefit from the posture. One more thing that people do when they sleep on their backs is that they push their heads into their shoulders, which causes them to snore. This is bad for both your head and your neck too, since they aren't properly aligned. A simple fix is to place a pillow under your neck in such a way that your head is relaxed. According to Master Yuchun, sleeping this way will help you have better dreams and also improve your health. Finally, the last sleeping posture that we're going to talk about is the lotus posture. The lotus posture is when you sleep while sitting. The key factor here is to keep your back flat using a pillow and then resting your chin on it to keep the head properly aligned. These traditions are called the 5 bamboo wives of the emperor, and according to Chinese masters, are the key to leading a long, healthy life.
So anyway, this guy was basically showing 3 different positions on how when you do them, you'll be able to sleep in a way where you can live a long, healthy life. You see how sleep, if you master it, if you do it properly, you can live a long, healthy life. That's why I'm saying like the way that the Ashab al-Kahf, they slept, it was not done by accident. Now, this guy is just basically talking about sleeping positions. Now, what if we go on Google right here? So I actually searched it up. How did Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sleep? The way Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam slept is that he slept on his right side, right? This guy, I think he was showing like the left side he was sleeping, and he didn't really mention on which side was the best. But he was basically bringing a bunch of pillows just so he can put on you and all that stuff. I don't think you need any of these pillows. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam actually slept on a very flat surface. The flatter the surface is, the better, because even you'll see Remember Mike Chang, the guy that used to talk about the six-pack shortcut? This guy started making videos on just like a bit more spirituality and how you can use the body so you can influence the spirit. This guy shows that if you sleep on the floor, just literally on the floor like this, that's the best sleeping position. A flat position is the best sleeping position, but the only reason why you'll be uncomfortable in the beginning is because your body is not used to it. But you need to start getting used to it because that's the natural way of sleeping, which is just a flat surface. So Muhammad ﷺ, he used to sleep on a flat surface, like his bed was not on a mattress. It was basically on a wooden, I believe it was like a wooden flat surface. That's all it was. And he used to sleep on the right side most of the time. So he'd put his hand like this, and he would just sleep like this on the right side, which honestly is the best way. The reason why Muhammad ﷺ used to sleep this way is because the stomach is on the left side and the heart is on the left side. So when you sleep like this, you're not really like you're not putting pressure on the stomach or the heart. So you will be sleeping in a way where it's good. And try it too. Anytime I sleep on the left side, my nose gets closed, my heart beats very fast, and then my stomach feels like it's like there is too much pressure on it. So even me personally, I always sleep either like looking up like this or on my right side. The best one is on the right side. I notice that whenever I sleep with my head up, I always get nightmares, which is so weird. So this is in terms of the sleeping position. Now we're going to be hearing about the Indian guy Sadhguru, and I'll be explaining to you on what the Quran says on what the best direction to sleep in, because Sadhguru says north is the worst direction to sleep in. So we'll see exactly how does this align with Islam.
That we've got sleeping postures out of the way, let's take a look at Indian mystic and yogi Sadhguru as he explains which direction you should sleep in. There's a general consensus among people that you shouldn't sleep with your head towards the north. Why do you think this is? Well, according to Sadhguru, all of this has to do with the fact that the Earth's insanely strong gravitational pull is always pulling everything towards itself. The biggest proof of this statement, according to Sadhguru, is that the Himalayas are constantly rising. This happens because the Earth's tectonic plates are constantly moving and crashing into each other. As these plates crash, the Himalayas rise. Sadhguru says that this movement is because of Earth's magnetic poles. Now, what does this have to do with us? Well, when you sleep with your head towards the north, the magnetic field affects you the same way that it affects the tectonic plates. As you probably know, iron is a major component of your blood. It forms the core of the red blood cell and is essential for the proper functioning of the circulatory system. When you sleep towards the north, this iron starts moving towards your head. Slowly and gradually, a buildup of this iron and excess blood begins to occur inside your head. Imagine a huge magnet placed at the top of the head, attracting all the iron and blood towards it. When you sleep with your head towards the north, that is essentially what's happening to you. One more thing that complicates the issue here is how sensitive the vessels inside your head are. Since your heart has to pump blood opposite to the direction of the gravitational force, it has to exert more pressure when pumping blood upwards. This is also the reason why the blood vessels in the head are so thin. These vessels don't get a lot of blood flow and aren't designed for an excess of blood. Two things happen when you sleep towards the north. First of all, due to the fact that you're laying down, the blood flow in your head increases more than what it is used to already. This happens because of the lack of any gravitational effect to oppose the heart's pumping. What happens next, however, is what you should be worried about. With your head towards the north, the blood that is already in excess there begins to increase even more. This can lead to stroke or even hemorrhaging. The severity of the side effects is linked directly to your age. If you're young and have strong blood vessels, you might not feel any immediate side effects. However, over a long period of time, the increased pressure along with all the excess blood will lead to chronic side effects. According to Sadhguru, you might even die if your blood vessels are weak and you end up having a stroke. This won't happen the first few times you sleep this way. However, when you keep doing this over a long period of time, you will start to see gradual side effects. Depending on the strength, there are a number of side effects that you might face: stroke, nightmares, disturbed sleep, and worst of all, a brain hemorrhage. The solution to all of these issues, according to Sadhguru, is to never sleep in sync with the magnetic poles. If you live in the northern hemisphere, you should never sleep with your head towards the north. East is best, and then southeast. The south isn't ideal, but it's better than the north. If you live in the southern hemisphere, the instructions are the exact opposite for you. You should avoid sleeping with your head towards the south and try to prefer the west when picking a direction. Once again, this is because if you're in the southern hemisphere, you'll be most strongly attracted by the magnetic pull of the South Pole, which is what you need to avoid. Now, to get the best possible sleep, what you need to do is use both the techniques you learned today. First, you need to fix your sleeping posture using the 5 bamboo wives of the emperor technique that Master Yuchun just taught us. The 3 most common sleeping positions have already been explained by Master Yuchun, so all you need to do is pick the one you like and stick to that. Once you have a good sleeping posture, the next step is to follow Sadhguru's advice and sleep perpendicular to the magnetic poles. Pick the direction that is best suited to the hemisphere you live in. East if you're in the northern hemisphere, and west if you're in the southern hemisphere. With these ancient techniques perfected over generations, your health is almost guaranteed to improve.
And this is beautiful, by the way. So let me show you right now, okay? Let me show you what the Quran talks about. So he says, and I told you about this before, remember? I'm like, southeast is the best direction, north is the worst direction, and he explains it very nicely, the speaker, because the iron is going to get built up in your head, so it's going to lead to a stroke, most likely, especially if you do that for a long period of time. So listen, the people of the cave. I actually went and I visited the people of the cave. The cave, not the people, but just the cave in Jordan. And so as I went there, I'm like, I pulled out my compass and I wanted to see like where did the door face? And apparently it faced south. So let me show you something, okay? Because the way they slept, obviously, it was like one of the best ways that someone can sleep in. That's why they were able to sleep for 300 years. Like imagine if they slept for 300 years facing the north. That would make no sense, man. So it would be like a contradiction in the Quran. So look at this. Allah says, وَتَرَى الشَّمْسَ إِذَا طَلَعَتْ تَزَاوَرُ عَنْ كَهْفِهِمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَإِذَا غَرَبَتْ تَقْرِضُهُمْ ذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ. So Allah says that when the sun comes out, it faces them from the right side, and then when it's like going away, it doesn't face them, but it's on the north side. What that means is that when it's facing them, so Allah uses the word yamin when it faces them. What's the direction in the cave where the sun literally faces them? It's south. And then when it goes away, it's shimal, which is north. So Allah's saying that when the sun comes out, it hits them from the south. Understand this, from the south. So Allah is saying that the word yamin is from the south. And then when the sun is leaving, it's hitting them from the north. So the shimal. This is why I'm saying like the word yamin in the Quran, it refers to south, and the word shimal refers to shamal, which is north. The other thing too is to understand that back in the day, right? Every civilization, they always associated the right side with the southern side and the left side with the northern side. Why is that? Because when the sun comes out, when the sun coming out is a sign of a new day. So when it's coming out, it's coming from the east. So then if you're facing it from the east, and then you do this to your right hand, what is on this side? What's on the right side? South. And then what's on this side? North. And behind you is west. So east was the direction of a new day. That's why in the Quran, when Allah is saying that, like when Allah uses the word yameen, it's basically facing the south. And when Allah says the word shimal, it's facing the north. This is important because it shows that the way they were sleeping, like what direction were they sleeping in? So here Allah says, وَنُقَلِّبُهُمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ. We turn them over to the right and left. But what did I tell you? Yameen is not just the right. Yameen is south. Shimal is not just the left. Shimal is north. And we can see right here, like when the sun is coming out, it's inclining towards the cave on the right side, which is the south. This is why this is so important. This is why you need to be doing the thinking to know it's like, what does yameen actually mean in the Quran? And what does south mean? And what does north mean in the Quran? So here Allah is saying that when they're turning away, when Allah is turning them in their sleep, when they're turning away, they're looking at the south, and then when they're turning away this way, they're looking at the north. So what does that mean? First of all, we don't know it's like which way was south, which way was north. All we know is that they were turning towards south and north, which means their head was either on the east or west. Do you see what I mean? So that's why the best sleeping position is the east-west or west-east direction. So don't be sleeping towards your head facing the south or towards your head facing the north. Only sleep with your head facing the east or facing the west. Do you see why this is such a hidden gem in the Quran from Ashab al-Kahf? This is why they slept for 300 years. And I'm telling you, by the way, go on Google Images go in Jordan, because the cave is in Jordan, and then see like which way was the cave facing, and then you will see that it was facing the southern side, which is so beautiful. Like I'm telling you, I went to the cave and it was like literally facing the southern side, and I couldn't help but think, I'm like, this is so beautiful. So this is the best way to sleep if you're looking for a long, healthy life. So the position is the Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam position, which is sleeping on the right side like this. That's the best sleeping position. But which way should you be facing in terms of north, south, east, and west? Well, your head should be facing either east or west. East or west. And also, don't be facing with your feet facing the Qibla. So if you're in a country where the Qibla is towards the east, then make your head face the east. Make the head face the east. That way, your feet is not going to be facing the Qibla. And also, vice versa. But that's the thing. Just don't ever be facing the north, and don't ever be facing, like, if you face the south with your head towards the south, it's still like it's obviously none of this is haram, but it's still not as good compared to like when your head is facing the east and the west. And so, what about me? Like, have I even tried this? Yes, I actually have. I've tried this. So, you know how I'm in this new house right now? We slept with our heads towards the with our feet actually towards the qibla, and it was so hard to sleep, man. It was so hard to sleep. And then we changed, and when my head is facing towards the qibla here in Canada, that means it was facing north or northeast, which means I was sleeping almost like in the east, in the north and the south direction. So that's not good. So we changed the bed, and then we made it towards the east and the west. That's the way I've always been sleeping, by the way. I've always been sleeping towards like my feet facing the east and my head facing the west. And I've noticed like that's the best way to sleep. The best way to sleep. So it doesn't matter. If your head is facing the east, that's good. If your head is facing the west, that's good. Go pull out your compass right now and see, it's like, what your bed, what direction is it in? And you'll notice, like, you'll actually feel it. You'll notice like when you wake up, over like, try it for a week, you'll be like, dang, like the amount of quality sleep that I'm getting is very powerful. And yeah, this does have to do with the earth's magnetic field and the iron in your body, and how the iron is a metal, right? So obviously, if you have like a magnet, iron is going to be moving towards that magnet, and Earth does have a magnet that faces towards the north, and so that's why it's very important to not sleep with your head towards the north, because you can actually die, which is very interesting. So this is it, man. I just taught you how to sleep super correctly. Sleep in this position, and then sleep just like Ashab al Kahf, and inshallah, this is going to result in you sleeping for a long time so you can get a long and healthy life. So if this was helpful, man, just let me know.